Hello. Check. Check.
Way too quiet.
Better. Cool. Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY Studios. Today I just wanted to talk to you about the new kind of series that I am currently working on. One of the biggest things, one of my biggest passions when it comes to studio work is drums. If you look at most of my channel, it is a lot of drums and then a lot of fixing stuff, including drums. Once it gets there, once I upload it. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys some of my plans. The next idea that I want to do when it comes to the studio is called Sounds Like, which is very unoriginal. But the entire premise of Sounds Like is for me to take a song that I'm interested in and to take a really simple, limited drum kit and to try to get the same energy as the original artist, the original, like the same sounds, the same style. Because not only does this let me practice one of my favorite instruments to play, and it forces me to change and look at my habits and to learn new things. It also challenges me in how to record. I think one of the biggest things that I want to do when it comes to audio engineering, what got me started into it was I liked writing songs with my buddies, but I really wanted to learn to record drums. And after practice, I'm getting better. And I like that. And I know that the only way I'm going to get better is if I keep practicing. So a lot of the times I'll take something like, I just finished recording a Hailstorm song. And while it is kind of a drum cover, my goal is to take it a step further than a drum cover and practice recording it and tuning the kit the same way they would and kind of playing it the same way they would. Hailstorm being they in this situation, not only stylistically as the drummer, but also having to want to pick the same style as them, but knowing from an engineering standpoint, there's things that I have to do for it to be good. And practicing recording, practicing playing, there's so many sacrifices you have to give as soon as you put mics in front of something that you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know those challenges, you wouldn't know those issues until you're faced with them. And for me, there's no money here, there's no clientele here. This is specifically just for me because I like the drums. And I want to get better at the drums, and I want to get better at recording drums, because it is, for me, probably stylistically one of the things that can have the most impact on an album is how the drums are recorded. You listen to modern metal nowadays, and everyone bashes it, saying how all of it sounds the same because everyone's drummer is a MIDI track and, Virtual Drummer 18 or whatever we're on now, where it's all just sample based. And we're losing a lot of, at least from my perspective, we're losing a lot of the feeling of a drummer. We're losing a lot of the nuances of musicianship rather than just writing parts. All the famous drummers in the world can play the exact same parts, but it would be totally different. I think we all accept that from vocalists, we all accept that from guitarists, we all accept that from bassists, where tones matter, but because drums is, for lack of better terms, a pain in the butt, we don't give a lot of drummers the time of day anymore. A lot of this series of Sounds Like is having a very limited, mic selection in a very unideal room and trying to get the best results out of it, both for my personal growth as a drummer, a recording engineer, as the time goes on and what have you, but also just It's fun. So yeah, that is just the biggest update. Is I wanted to show you guys and tell you guys about the new sounds like. I don't really want to tell you guys what microphones I'm using or anything like that. I have no problem in sharing techniques, because the point of this is not about how awesome my microphone is on the snare. I got that microphone on Facebook Marketplace because I traded some stuff. It has nothing to do with the gear that I'm using. As long as your gear works and you can learn some basic techniques, you can record. There is not going to be a gear list in my description. There is not going to be this big studio reveal. It's a tiny room. The idea is to be creative. The idea is, this is my end goal, and I'm going to make a bunch of simple, small decisions to get as close to the feeling that I'm going for, rather than just being a pain in the butt in the studio. Because in reality, I think a lot of musicians can be pretty egotistical or think that their guitar is the best. Every piece of gear is a tool, and some tools are better than others, and you can really appreciate a tool for being a good tool. But the idea in the studio is to throw away all, ideas, any misconceptions, anything that we have, emotional attachments, because in reality, if it sounds good, it sounds good. And 9 times out of 10, you will have a better sounding record, better sounding drums, guitars, bass, vocals, whatever you're doing, if you put the ego away, put the opinions away, and just plug it in and realize that a lot of times it's going to sound bad. And learning the techniques on how to make it sound good, both in the room with microphones and microphone placement and phase, but also in your DAW, in your Reaper, Cubase, Ableton, whatever. It's all simple decisions. So you'll be seeing my new Hailstorm sounds like here in a little bit. I wanted to preface what I'm doing with this video before I posted the video, because I don't just want to do drum covers. I think there's enough drum covers on YouTube, and I think that I'm not going to win that market over. I don't want to put in that amount of effort of being the best drummer possible. I want to be a good drummer, but I want to be a good, solid studio drummer where I understand the ins and outs of both behind the desk and behind the kit. So tune in for that. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. For simple reference, if anyone's interested, there's this website called Moises, or an app called Moises. It's like the word noise, noises, plural, but with an M at the beginning, where you can take any URL that you have, like a YouTube URL or any song that you already have, and it kind of uses EQ to separate instruments so that you're able to play over them. So in a lot of my covers, I'm very aware that the backing track will not sound great, because EQ, audio separation, is not it. It's not quite there yet. I'm sure I could fiddle with it a bit more, but to me, that's not the point of these videos. To me, the point of these videos is the drums. So I will have the backing tracks and I will try to make them sound decent, but in reality, I'm going to obviously have the drums up front, or whatever instrument I'm working on, in the front of the mix, to be critiqued not only by you guys, but myself as well. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to preface the plan and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it, and I very much look forward to being a better drummer, producer, engineer, and that's where it all comes from. So thank you guys for watching. Any songs that you're interested in, if you have any bands that you're really in love with and you're like, how would I do that? Happily send them my way, and I will look into them. If I do it, I do, and I will probably shout you out. If I don't do it, no hard feelings. My wife tells me to do things all the time, and I need to get better at listening to her before I get better at listening to the YouTube community. So anyways, have a good one, and as always, stay humble.